doing?
Damn. Ellen does it.
Really? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel better now.
If you say so.
Well, it's good enough for her. It's good enough for me.
Uh-huh.
So
She
anyway.
can actually dance, which is kind of a different thing. What is wrong with you today?
I don't know. Married to you.
I'm afraid that was really a big mistake on your part for a long freaking time, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
because. Oh, have we started the show yet? Yeah.
Who
Oh!
told us that?
What? Hang on a second. Did I hear a knock? No.
I'm very sorry. They do this to us all the time. They do it to us all the time. They never tell us when we've actually gone live so they can catch us doing something stupid, which is pretty much, you know, all the time. So, good morning. Welcome to the Todd Morning Stream. How are you?
I want to hear the knock. Knock, guys. Didn't hear it before. All right. That's better.
Are you happy now?
We're talking about this being a professional show like Ellen DeGeneres and hence the dancing. And then this all happens. And I just, whatever. I'm fine.
Glad you're better now.
I am. Where are my glasses? All right. So,
No.
go ahead.
You think of the morning mountain cam?
Yeah.
Professional.
We have a
weather
different
device.
look today. Check
Really?
it out. Yeah. It's a bigger lens.
Oh, so we've got a broader view of the valley.
The mountains are bigger, more majestic.
And more snowy. And they'll be even more snowy tomorrow, which makes me want to cry bitter tears.
That big building in the bottom right-hand corner should put up a lease sign with a phone number. They get free advertising.
I know, really. You know what's so frustrating, though, and I know that I got suckered into this because March was nice. You know, we had highs in the 70s, and it was pretty. We could go out and we could do stuff, and all the flowers were like, hey, it's spring. I could totally, come up now.
Right.
And then, of course, everything just came crashing down in April, and I think it's
taken-
literally been like 3 weeks of rain. And I can't take it. I could not live in Portland, and I could not live in Seattle because I'm like ready to put myself in a
She's
ditch
taken
somewhere.
this rather personally. And now it's like weather talk all the time.
I'm tired of it, and
I
it's going to be
think-
another horrible cold day today and tomorrow.
Everyone's tired of weather talk. Here, take a look. This is from the National Weather Channel. And they've got these terrible quotes of people talking about the...
I want to be over. I want it to
Right?
be done. I hate you. Oh, that face. I mean, I guess it's cool to love that. Oh, that's so funny. I say, I'm
Here's
happy
another
for
one.
you in your 74-degree day. Some days it's hot, some days it's cold. Is there a problem here?
Oh, man.
Oh, that's the face right after we punch him.
Here you go.
You suck. Go back to California.
Hippie. So the weekend is coming up, and I thought I'd help out people because
Okay.
a lot of times people go out and they have some fun, and they get home, and we've all done this. You get
And you're
home,
like one of those bears that's just woken up from spring, and you're lumbering stupidly in the fridge while
Right.
you're kind of trying to find something to eat.
well, I have a new series. It's the reality of late night cooking. Watch
Okay.
this. There you go.
See, everything is better with parsley, because I was initially going to go, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, especially when you put in the ketchup. Why did you put in ketchup with baked beans?
Everyone has ketchup with baked beans. Well, with hot dogs.
What kind of a savage are you? I've never had ketchup with baked beans.
You ever had brown bread? It comes in a can.
Yes, a very old school.
B&M. Bad choice on the title for food.
I would think so too.
But oh yeah, grew up. Friday night was always, or was it Monday? Always hot dog night back east.
with brown bread.
Yeah, fish for the Catholics on Friday.
Always.
Every day was laid out back there what you're supposed to eat.
It was a lot more organized back then when there were fewer choices, I think.
This is true.
Because I think we went through all the same things here. I remember pork chop night, and I remember pot roast day. That was always Sunday. Yeah, I think everyone was much more specific.
Then small rock day and dirt clods for dessert.
And now it's just like, what's in the fridge? I don't know. We have a takeout drawer. Let's open it up and see what's inside.
She literally stands at the fridge. The door's open, and it's like silently, quietly weeps.
Well, no, but you know what I mean, and that's the sad part because I don't cook. So I'm basically like your average teenager going, there's nothing to eat.
Like, well, there's
nothing to eat here.
There's a marinated steak, so some chicken thighs we could throw in the
I'll
pan.
have to cook it.
Even salad. She's like,
no, if you give me the kit, I can open the bag. I would like to point out that I am capable of opening a bag, and I think that's the important thing here.
She does it really good. Mm-hmm. All right,
I'm excellent. I can nuke like nobody's business. Are you ready to hear? Are you ready to hear about my procedure?
Okay.
You ready? Okay.
Be gentle.
Two of our closest friends are Chris and Dr. Molly, and they run Enlighten Laser in Bountiful. And they do cosmetic procedures. They're wonderful. Todd and I have been with them for years because they do bioidentical hormones for us.
So far, I'm okay.
So Chris called me 2 days ago and goes, I want you to do something. I said, what do you want me to do? And basically for me, Enlighten Laser is like Disneyland because it's like, what do you got coming up? I'll do it. I've done like thermage. I've done cool sculpting. I've done the CO2 laser. I've had the lip plumping. I've had the voluma in my cheekbones. But this one's epic.
I'm still okay. I'm still okay with this.
Okay. I've been nagging them to do this for a couple of years because I knew how much interest there was here in Utah. Now think about it. We're in a land where having 6 children is not at all unusual. We're in a land where multiple kids is a given. And
I'm still
as
okay.
we are women, we all know basically some of the ravages that childbirth and having children does to your body, your pelvic floor, how you feel, elasticity, tightness, your ability to have a really good sex life. A lot of those things kind of go down the drain because of certain impacts on your body. So they have started vaginal rejuvenation. Now this is so cool because, what are you doing?
Just wake me up when it's over.
Really? You're my husband.
What?
Okay, here's the deal. So there's a new laser procedure, and it's done by radio frequency. So they tried this out on me, and basically it is like an uncomfortable half an hour where I'm talking with people I've known forever, and my city lying there. But it's not even remotely painful, and what it does is it thickens up. It like almost triples the tissue inside the opening. And so what that does is that it also strengthens the whole pelvic floor. It strengthens the area there. It tightens up all the laxity, which is such a fancy word. And it does amazing things for your sex life and your love life with your husband and your partner and the way you feel about each other and your ability to have an orgasm, all these really good things. And the thing is, this is such an amazing procedure. It's one time only. It's not painful at all. I was sitting there going, really? I was expecting something. They're like, no, you're fine. And then literally you're rebuilding all this collagen so it keeps going and going and going. You'll see the max results in like 90 days, but literally within like 2 or 3 days, once you give a test run, it's amazing the difference you see. And the thing is, they said that they've had 90% satisfaction rate with this thing. There's over 50 countries worldwide that have been testing it for everything from urinary incontinence. Do you remember when we were pregnant and we coughed? You remember that moment? Yeah. Anyway, they've been testing for that all the way up to sexual satisfaction and your ability. But so I had it done yesterday. It was not uncomfortable. It was easy to do. And if you want to get a consultation with Dr. Molly or somebody at Enlighten, just go to enlightenlaser.com. They didn't pay me for this, but I did receive the procedure. So this is my
You know what my problem is?
Yes.
Is my music doesn't play loud enough to drown that out.
EnlightenLaser.com. Ask about vaginal rejuvenation. This is the most awesome procedure. I know that they are going to be packed.
It's not loud enough.
Insanely. And by the way, for husbands, there's not a single husband in the world I know that wouldn't go.
Oh, don't say it.
That's
awesome.
That's awesome. No. But anyway, so seriously.
Let's talk about Mother's Day.
Enlighten Laser.
It's
going to be awesome.
Moving on. Okay. Mother's Day, scamming mom.
You want to take your headphones off now?
Oh, I was talking too loud, wasn't I?
You're
All right.
such a wimp.
So Mother's Day.
I've seen this scam before, and it's really a
cannot
bummer. It comes up all the time. Okay, well, it's really cool. It's a Facebook scam, and if you see it, I want you to be like aware. It's Lowe's Home Improvement, and they say, oh, if we've got a $50 coupon for your mom. It's just for Mother's Day. Congratulations, you're gonna love it. And when you click on it, it's gonna come up like this, and it asks you, hey, have you been to Lowe's?
Yes,
before?
I have.
Blah blah blah. And so far, it's like really really simple, right? Well, here's the thing that's the problem. They actually are not doing that promotion at all. Lowe's said, that's not us. If you see it, it's not us. And it's all designed to collect your information and also get an email address where they can download spyware, and that goes into your system, and then it steals everything, and then you're in a world of hurt.
What kind of dirty, rotten dogs would go after this for Mother's Day?
Mother's Day. So yeah, if you see the
Horrible.
50-day Mother's Day coupon, it's totally a scam. I'm really, really sorry. But now at least you know what it looks like, so you won't click on it and get in trouble.
Dirty, rotten
I know, it
dogs.
just makes me sad, though, because it's
No one
mean.
is safe. No one is safe in this world.
Well, you know what? There's actually 3 things the Better Business Bureau reminds you of, and especially since we've seen in the last couple of months just how much spyware can get into your personal life and how easy it is to be done. Don't believe what you see. Anyone can steal the same logo or the header or the same colors. So you have to look up at the address bar and see where you're going to actually know. Legitimate businesses do not ask for credit card numbers or information about your banks on customer surveys. They're not going to do that. And also, look, if the reward's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And unfortunately, as much as I love Lowe's, nobody's giving you a $50 coupon for Mother's Day. So I'm really sorry. It makes me sad. But
And
no,
the other thing is your password shouldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the other thing.
we learned that the hard way.
Erin was listening to a call I actually got from my bank. And they wanted me to tell them what my bank account number was. And I said, well, you're calling from my bank. You should know.
Seems like that's a given.
No, Mr. Caller, we need... And this went on for like 5 minutes. And then
That's because you like to play with telemarketers.
oh my
You're
gosh.
evil.
And they're like, no. And I go, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I need to talk to a supervisor. They actually put someone else on, which was hilarious. And they said, what seems to be the problem? I said, well, you're asking me for information that you should already have.
Kind of seems obvious.
There's like kind of like, well, that's in another office or something. It was just
Don't you all have the same computer system?
stupid.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
really
if it's
sorry.
too good, obviously.
Obviously, you can go to Lowe's and buy some lovely flowers, but tragically, there's not a $50 coupon for them.
Mom. Right.
All right, let's go to Daisy, the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. So many things have happened overnight. First of all, it is brought to you by our very dear friends at Columbus Travel. You only have a few days left to get a hold of their amazing April sale. This is the biggest one of the year. You can save hundreds of dollars on your vacation. Go to columbustravel.com. Also by Executive Transportation, the official limousine service of the Todd and Aaron Show. And you will absolutely love March and his amazing fleet of Escalades. Just go to executiveutah.com to book. And all Utah plumbing, heating, and air. Whatever needs fixing around your house, John would be the man to do that. And I'm talking like 24 hours a day on call if you need him. Daisy, what's going on this morning?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news this morning on GephartDaily.com. A Moab area 18-year-old is facing multiple felony charges following a deadly prom night rollover accident which killed 2 teens and critically injured 2 others March 5th. Gage Moore was booked into the San Juan County Jail Wednesday on 5 felony counts, including criminal automobile homicide, DUI, and sexual abuse of a minor. Investigators say Moore was behind the wheel when the carload of teens rolled on the winding LaSalle Loop Road outside Moab. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order reviewing the status of the newly established Utah Bears Ears National Monument and 20 other monuments created by the 3 previous administrations. Critics of the monuments, including Governor Gary Herbert, along with Senators Orrin Hatch and Mike Lee, attended the White House signing of the executive order, which they hope will pave the way for the return of Bears Ears and the Grand Staircase Escalante Monument to state control. Utah's 3rd District Congressman Jason Chaffetz is going under the knife. Chaffetz released a statement Wednesday saying the surgery is due to a foot fracture he suffered in his garage more than a decade ago. Chaffetz says he'll likely be out of action for about a month, even though there's much to do in Washington. It's unclear if he gave up his expensive iPhone to help pay for the surgery or if he merely relied on the full benefits package provided by American taxpayers. And now a quick look at the forecast for the Wasatch Front. Expect more wet weather Thursday and Friday, including a touch of snow. Highs both days in the mid to upper 40s. Continued cloudiness into the weekend with highs in the mid 50s. That's it for now. More headlines 24/7 on GebhardtDaily.com.
You know, there's nothing worse than walking through your house and hearing that drip, drip, drip. And it seems so simple. Basically, it's your kitchen faucet, and you walk by and you go, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. And then you go outside and you turn sprinklers on because it's summertime, and suddenly two of them don't come up. You got two of them. Now you got a drip, and now you got two things that won't work in the yard. And then you notice that your AC unit isn't really getting as good. We need to call all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air because they're going to come out. You know what? They're going to fix it right. They're not going to duct tape it. They're going to come out and fix it right, and then you will not have to worry about it. AllUtahPlumbing.com. You're going to love them. You're going to love them.
Okay, you ready for a tell me something good? Well,
it depends. Is this one the scary kind of thing where it starts off horrible and then it gets nice?
No, it starts almost every tell me something good has to start scary or horrible because these are terrible things that happen in our lives, and somehow something stops and changes that, and it becomes a beautiful story.
Stay with us on this. Don't leave halfway through because you feel terrible the rest of the day.
All right. Doug Knutson does a lot of water rescue in Washington State, and he got the call, emergency at the beach. So he threw all of his rescue gear in. He went out, teamed up with all of his other people, said, what's the story?
Right.
Well, Dale Ostrander been there with his church group. They were having kind of like a little camping on the beach episode.
Okay.
He got swept out with the tide.
How old is he?
12 years old.
12. Okay.
And he's kind of a slight little guy. So Dale's out there. And then Knutson's arrived in minutes. He's got his rescue craft. He's coordinating operations. Part of the problem is this little guy was wearing dark clothing. And so it was really hard to see. There was a huge kelp mass.
Right.
And they're just frantically searching everywhere. And everybody's on the shore, and they're like on their knees just crying. And they're praying. And like, please do something. Right. So one of his friends said that he thought he saw something like a buoy rising up. And so he went over, and it was a body, and it was face down in the seaweed. And Mendes grabbed the guy, pulled him up, and it was Dale. He said he was only a kid. He could be my child.
And?
So Knutson cradled Dale in his arms. He wasn't responsive. He'd been at least 15 minutes underwater.
In cold water?
In freezing cold surf.
Okay, all right.
So they race in. There's paramedics on the scene. They're ready to go. CPR. They're trying to revive him.
Right.
They life flight him to Portland because they detected a faint pulse.
Okay.
So the family's already there. They're waiting.
Story's turning. See how this works?
He's on life support when his parents come in. A CT scan said that there's global brain damage.
Okay.
Which is...
All right.
That's bad. That's pretty serious. And so they weren't sure, am I coming to say goodbye to my son? And so one of the physicians, who's Dr. Shinpei Shibata, said, I have got a really good idea. He said hypothermic therapy would lower his body temperature, and we could prevent further brain damage. Maybe we can get rid of some of the swelling and the inflammation in the brain.
All right.
And so they did all this, and they're kind of following him. And he came in 2 days later on his next round, and he found out he hadn't responded. And Shibata looked at him for a minute, and he said, Dale, wake up! And he rubbed his knuckles on his rib cage. Now, if you've ever had this done right here, it's very startling. It's not particularly painful.
Okay, what happened? What, you're killing me here.
Dale started moving around.
What?
And then he opened his eyes and he tried to sit up. And Shibata's like, no. Dr. Shibata said, please, just sit down for a minute. It's all right. You don't have to.
So this kid's just stubborn.
But, I mean, this is so funny because this is like this renowned brain surgeon, and he's giving everybody high fives in the room. It's hysterical. So since then, Dale's regained the ability to walk, talk, write, read. He's learning how to walk again.
Wow.
Any one of the rehabilitation specialists who's been working with him over the last year said we would never expect any of these things. And they said that they had a gigantic reunion on the 1-year anniversary of him coming to the hospital, and the paramedics who were there to help rescue him, and the firefighters, and Mendez and Knutson from their little auto shop where they did water rescue, his entire family, all of the doctors, and even 2 brain surgeons flew in from New York City because they did not believe Dr. Shibata when he presented the case report. And here's little Dale. He's now 13 years old, and he's standing there with a tube because he still requires some oxygen and air.
Right.
And he's walking and talking, and he came up to Dr. Shibata and he said, thank you for saving my life.
Wow.
Now in Verklempt.
I think, you know what gets me? First of all, great story, good ending. incredible ending. Science is being involved, and then they have this top doctor of his field.
Stubborn Dr. Shibata.
And he comes over and he just tells him to wake up.
It's the knuckle thing that kills me.
This is like in Star Wars where they're trying to go into hyper whatever it's
Millennium Falcon. He's knocking on the bowl.
He just kick it. He kicks it and off they go.
It was incredible.
Just like that. All right,
my favorite vision of that still, there was Doug Knudsen in his little auto shop. Like maybe half a mile from the coast, just waiting for a call where he's going to race out in his inflatable and try to save somebody.
That's very cool.
So that's your Tell Me Something Good.
All right, so coming up, we're going to talk to you and Daisy. We're going to talk about what's coming up over the weekend.
Stuff. We've got all kinds of things for families and for couples. We've got amazing music from somebody that you will know, and we also have a whole bunch of freebies to give away.
All right, very good. Coming up.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. And by Columbus Travel, the best travel deals on the planet. Be sure to take advantage of our April sale. columbusvacations.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Aaron Morning Stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com. All right, here we're back, and this is so exciting. The so beautiful Daisy is here. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Teeny tiny Daisy. You come up with some of the best things, I have to admit, for the weekend. But this is pretty epic because I had no idea he even had a son who did this. And we're speaking of Paul McCartney.
Yes, we're speaking of Paul McCartney. This was a total surprise to me. I'm looking through things that are happening this weekend, and I see that Paul McCartney's son James, who is also a musician, he's playing at the Urban Lounge.
That is so freaking cool.
Tomorrow. And the Urban Lounge, I don't know whether you guys have been there, but it's, it's small, it's intimate.
Yeah, it's just a fun, funky little place downtown.
Totally cool gig. I'm really excited for this. It's doors at 6. I think, as far as I know, he's kind of an acoustic artist. He's got a new album out, and on one of the tracks, I don't think he's touring with him, but on one of the tracks, check this out, George Harrison's son Danny.
Oh, that's so funny.
Does guitars and vocals.
Now they need is Julian Lennon, and they could form a whole new band. It would be awesome.
That's so this is cool for Salt Lake City.
I think so. How does he sound? Does he sound a little bit like his dad? I mean, vocal-wise, or?
I actually haven't heard him sing, but he sounds a lot like his dad when he talks.
He looks eerily like Paul McCartney too, which is funny. I guess that would be a given heritage and genetics, but still, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I'm actually really excited about that. It's cool that Salt Lake City is getting him.
I think so.
Tomorrow night, and guess what?
What?
We have tickets to give away.
Of course you do, because you're Daisy and this is what you do. Okay, so if you're watching on any of our Facebook pages today, that could be Gephardt Daily, Gephardt Approved, or the Todd and Aaron page. All you need to do is like, comment, and share somewhere here on the post under the show, and you're ready to go and you're already entered.
Yes,
so
yes,
cool.
super cool, and we'll be there. And then tonight, the weekend starts on Thursday, right?
Always.
I mean, obviously.
That's why we do this on Thursdays.
So Piper Down, which is an Irish pub on State Street.
You're speaking to me now.
Yeah. I'm speaking your language. They have this thing called Breaking Bingo on Thursday nights, which is basically you can go. You can win like $50 in cash. You can have a shot at winning like a $2,500 jackpot.
Nice.
And then they give away like gift cards and swag. But that's not even the best part. You haven't been to Piper Down?
No, I can't believe it. I feel like a really bad person. I'm Scottish Irish. What's wrong with me?
Well, listen to this. They have really authentic Irish food, Scottish food, English food, stuff like corned beef and cabbage and fish and chips and bangers and mash.
I haven't had bangers and mash in, a decade? 15 years?
This food is so good. So even if you don't want to go and play bingo, which is free, go and put all the food in your face.
Every bit of it is delicious. Every freaking bit of it is delicious. All right, so moving on, we've also got another thing that's really cool for families and for couples, and it is Steampunk Night. Now, this is really funny. You're going to totally love this. They have this down in Lehigh. This is at Hutchings Museum. Now, tomorrow night is the family night. So you dress everybody up in steampunk. They're going to have all of these wild exhibitions, all these different things. And for people who don't know, basically steampunk is sort of a sci-fi genre that was set sort of basically in Victorian times, but also based all on steam technology. So you have all the gadgets and the widgets and the cool top hats, and the women have all the corsets, which you just cannot go wrong in a corset.
No.
Am I right?
A top
Ever?
hat and a corset is all you need to succeed in life.
I know, right? I mean, it's perfect.
think.
Now, also, they also have date night, which is even cooler, and that's going to be on Saturday night. And so that's when you and your partner, you get all dressed up, you get to wear all the cool gear, once again, the corsets, and you go down and have a wonderful time. It's $15 a couple, but some of the stuff, I was looking at some of the exhibits and some of the stuff they're putting together, it's really creative because you forget how much imagination goes into some of the sci-fi genres, and it's stuff that I would have never imagined. It's amazing.
That sounds so cool.
Wouldn't that be the coolest date night? I mean,
Yes,
seriously.
absolutely. Men in vests with pocket watches.
You
stuff
can't
like
go
that.
wrong there either.
No,
They
you
got
can't
the
go
cool
wrong.
goggles. I know, it really is perfect. Okay, movies coming out this weekend. There's really only one big one. That's Emma Watson and Tom Hanks in The Circle.
How would you describe what the circle is to, say, your grandmother?
It's the chaos of the web made elegant.
Speed round, Paul or John?
Early Paul, late John.
Mario or Sonic?
Early Sonic, late Mario.
Needs of the society or needs of the individual?
Should be the same.
You're most scared of?
Unfulfilled potential.
Okay, it gets even creepier though because Tom Hanks is one of those terrifying, charismatic geniuses who's heading this wild tech company. But as Emma Watson gets into this, who still looks like just the way she did when she started as Hermione Granger in Harry Potter, finds out the ramifications of this and how it's going to affect their family and the world around them and just how scary it is. So it turns out to be more of a sci-fi than a thriller, but you're really going to dig this. It's freaky. So The Circle, that's going to start tomorrow night, but I do believe that you can catch some of the 8 o'clock showings tonight if you are all about the Emma Watson or Tom Hanks. And finally, we wanted to do this as a big thank you because Daisy gets here at a ridiculous hour of the morning. So does Patrick, our news director, Brandon, all of our photographers like Steve and Richard, and they put together this podcast in the most amazing possible way. And then you add that note of elegance because, you got the accent. So we wanted to say thank you. So we have an amazing night out. This is where you grab 3 of your best friends, you get rid of all of your social obligations at once, and you're going to take them to Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. Now, the food there is basically the closest thing to a food orgasm I have ever witnessed or experienced myself. And so we set you up with dinner. You have a wonderful time, and you don't have to worry about driving because we've got March from Executive Transportation who's putting all of you in his totally boss excursion, or maybe you're going to get one of the bigger, fancier cars. He's driving you all out there. You can hoot and holler, you can shriek, and then he drives you all back home again. So if you'd like to enter to win that, once again, any one of our Facebook pages, just like, comment, and share, and you are totally in business, and we will draw the winner next week. So there's a lot of free good stuff to this weekend. I'm
That
excited.
is so fun. I'm excited for the weekend
I
now.
know. You know how you always have those obligations, like the friends who always do something nice, but you go, if I bring them to the house, I have to clean and pretend that I'm not a savage and that I'm not a slatternly
Oh,
housekeeper.
just go out.
Yeah,
Who cooks? I mean,
Right?
come on.
so everything's done for you. It's perfect. Daisy, you are a goddess as always. Thank you.
Nice to talk to you.
All right, so if you want I can talk English, any information on anything we talked about, once again, just go to our Facebook pages, and you can also update any of your friends with the podcast here. Coming up next, Todd takes a trip down memory lane. Stay with us. Merit Medical. Why work for fast food wages when you can start at Merit for a whole lot more? Merit Medical. Great products, great people, a great company. Learn more at merit.com/careers. The law offices of Robert J. DeBry and Associates, with offices in Salt Lake City, Sandy City, and St. George. Check them out at robertdebry.com. The Todd and Aaron Morning Stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Aaron page.
All right, Todd and Aaron morning stream. Good morning, GetPartDaily.com.
I love Daisy's voice. I could sit and listen to her all day
At first, I thought it was a fake accent,
because it's so adorable.
right?
But
And
she's
then
actually from Britain.
she actually is from that place over there.
A small, elegant note. Now, you took a trip down memory lane yesterday. You've got to explain this because this is the most random freaking thing
I am
I've
so
heard.
excited to tell you this because I don't know if you've ever had an experience like this. So I'm down 2300 North Salt Lake, almost to Redwood Road. So construction companies, concrete companies, sewage treatment plant. And I suddenly realized, like, I was like a quarter mile from the station I started at Kiss 97. And there it is. How frightening is that?
How much water?
Enough.
It's a foot underwater.
Enough. And so I saw it, and that's where I started in 1986. And half of the building has collapsed, the other part has burned. And the only reason...
And the rest sank into the swamp, and then we built it up again.
Yeah, and the only reason the building exists is because there's an AM transmitter that they use for KLUB. It's the AM station. And that's it. So I thought, I'm just going to go there. And the gate was open, so I drove in through about a foot of water. And then
Wasn't this back in the good old days when the only thing that was out there was the Kissin' radio station and then the sewage treatment plant?
Yeah.
Because that's how radio used to be.
Prime real estate.
Yeah, my first station was overlooking a cow pasture. I mean, it was...
That's probably better than what we were looking at.
It all ended up being the same sort of material. But go on.
So I started walking around the building, and there was a truck there, and there was a door open, which I thought was really strange. And I'm walking around the building, and he comes out, and he looks, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry," because I didn't want to, because the gate was open. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I worked here 30 years ago." And he goes, "Oh, I know, Todd. What's going on?" And I'm like...
So far, this is like the weirdest series of coincidences ever.
This is like the Polar Express, where the guy just shows up with all the answers. So he said, we talked, and I guess he did promotions with us way back when.
It's amazing.
And he said, "You want to come in?" I said, "Yeah, of course I do." And I happen to have a camera. I should have taken more pictures. Here, let's look at some of these, and they're poorly done. But
wow.
Okay, I'm going to show you what that is. I have one here with me.
You've got one of the little old meters.
Yeah,
we used to have on the boards, the cheesy meters that everyone always did the close up to go, "We're at a radio station."
There it is. That's off our old transmitter.
Wow.
Doesn't that look like it's from the 1800s?
Oh man, the old Kissin' 97 sticker.
I
think you still had those when I came on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There were stickers everywhere in this building because that's what you did with stickers. You slapped them on stuff. And anyway, any more? Do I have one more?
That's incredible.
In the corner, in the darkened corner of this room, there was a heap of stuff like panels and stuff like that. And I looked down, and it was the board that we did the show on.
The control board where you do all the knobs and tubes and push things up and down.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You said you can have it, but the roof had collapsed over that part, and it didn't smell good.
I'm really glad you chose not to do that.
I decided not to. And then I started thinking, oh, by the way, here's that tube.
This is amazing. Now, where does this come from?
This goes on the top of an antenna, and it's the warning light for aviation. You need to hold it in front of you here so it doesn't do weird stuff.
Wow, look at that.
And so that's the light, the red light you see on top of these tall antennas, that's the one. And he had one, and he said, "Why don't you take it with you?" And I was like, how cool is that? And then it started making me think, this is interesting, because do you remember, I don't know do you remember your grandparents, and they had a radio, usually kitchen or next to the big chair, and they would turn it on, and it would take a while, because the bulbs are heating up. And all of a sudden, at the back of it, usually a heat vent onto the wall, was that orange glow from the bulbs doing their thing, right? It was like, I just remember it. And then we went into radio, and then we're doing analog stuff, and we're actually moving tapes and cutting tape and doing all this stuff.
I remember that. All the
and
little
then
cards.
we moved on to a solid state CD player. What magical evil is this? And then
then everything ran digitally, so it was internal, and everything's touched. And when I would run the board every now and then, it was so sensitive that once I sneezed and I accidentally switched to put us into a commercial stop set. I mean, but that's how it evolved. But now, radio is really becoming obsolete. It's interesting. In Scandinavia, they just literally this year took down all the FM stations. They've all kept an AM station for emergency notifications, but because everybody listens online now, there was no real reason to do it. And now Great Britain is actually going to be closing down their radio stations, their FMs as well. I think by 2021. I mean, if you think about it, even in new cars now, radios don't come standard anymore.
In some Buicks,
It's
but there is a place for radio. There definitely is a place for radio. But this is the next thing that's coming through, and it started
podcasting is the
10
next
years
step.
ago. 10 years ago, and now to be on a live streaming show like this is unbelievable, and I cannot tell you how fun this is.
And it's so much fun because I realize this. We can talk to you anytime. It doesn't have to be at some specific time
On
in the
demand,
morning.
yeah.
It can be any time you want. You can listen. You can watch. But the whole concept of that is digital, and that this option is there, and it's so cool because it is. It's an on-demand society now. This is all about. My life is so busy and overwhelming. I can't catch you at this specific time, but I can catch you here,
Right.
or I can listen to you here, or I can binge watch everything there. And I love the concept that it's like that.
And I think we should brag. We should brag just a little bit on you, because
You followed us this whole way. What the heck is wrong with
nice
you?
stalkers.
I mean, seriously, I think about this over these last years, this 20 years. You have helped us create a children's charity. Do you remember Kiss and Cares for Kids? And you all donated hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you gave children everything from new prosthetic feet to curing them of seizures with neurological
Did you mention
surgery.
the tornadoes in Oklahoma?
Where you all came in and we ended up filling 8 tractor trailers full of stuff to help the tornado victims. All the times that you came out for all the weird stuff we did, scavenger hunts, all of the tricks they played on with you with candid phone calls, all of the times that we would do a last minute call for help to do something for someone, and you would show up and go, tell me where, tell me when.
And I know
you would be there.
I know we're annoying.
That's
It's
a
not a
given.
surprise.
Yeah.
But you guys hung in there.
And the fact that you're here with us now, and the
great.
fact that you brought your kids, and I feel like we grew up with your children, and I got to hold them as babies, and now they come to Erin's night out as young adults, and we all freak out and go, you can't be that old.
I used to
And
listen to you when I was 3.
and now-
Shut up.
And now they start listening, and now I get to see them be pregnant, and I get to touch their pregnant tummy and go, oh my gosh, this is this new generation
crazy.
that will have never known anything about radio, and after all of these years, we're all still here together.
That's
And
weird.
to me, that's just amazing. We're both verklempt again, aren't we?
We are.
I can't win. Do you have the Kiss and Cares for Kids coat?
I don't have it. I think it's still in the car. So we started digging through stuff, and it was just like, anyway, freaky situation. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Out of nowhere.
That is the weirdest. Just the coincidence of you
Cool
seeing
stuff.
it there, driving down, and that there would be somebody there that knew you from that
Oh my
time ago
gosh.
and could show you around again.
I put it on Facebook, and all the radio people came out of the woodwork, and they're like,
I remember,
oh, yeah,
I
that was
remember."
so funny. Anyway, speaking of the future,
Yes.
we're talking about the cars. Finally, we were promised this. And I'm not sure this is a guy thing, or is this a everyone thing?
I've waited for this forever. I was very bitter. Didn't they predict we would have flying cars by, as I remember, it was 2002?
So listen, we're going to space. We're landing on the moon. We're eating Tang, drinking Tang, eating food space sticks, frozen ice cream. Remember the dry ice cream?
Ooh, very exciting.
Tasty. And all the while they're trying to hide the fact that we don't have a flying car yet, which is
Yeah,
just
we
rude.
noticed. It's not like you distracted us.
You want to
Look
see one?
at this
How's that look?
sucker. I have waited all my life to see one of
They
these.
say they got over the biggest challenge they had was not dying, and it
Uh-huh. can
looks
imagine
like
that.
it looks like they're doing really well here. So anyway,
Isn't this part of the same gyro system
no.
that they invented for
Oh
Segways?
yes, I think it's
I think
the
so.
Segways.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just embarrassing then.
No, this is part of the same
Right,
transitional
right.
equipment they use, though. But look at this sucker.
It's crazy.
Do you want to see it take off?
Do I want to see it take off?
This is amazing.
First, I'll say thanks for joining us on the Todd Heron Morning Stream.
And thank you for the last 20 years
Thank
and
you
for
very
sticking
much.
with us. We love you a lot.
GetPartDaily.com. Let's watch.